How's it going, guys? My name is Jimmy Champagne, and today I'm here to review the first episode of Butcher's Block, the third season of Sci-Fi's Channel Zero. But this will not have any spoilers whatsoever. Tonight, after the episode airs, I'll post a recap with a bunch of spoilers and all my speculation, but you don't have to worry about any spoilers here. So if you didn't know, Channel Zero is an anthology series where every season is based on a different creepypasta. So this season is based on Search and Rescue Woods, which is an 8-part series from the No Sleep subreddit, and it's one of my favorite and scariest stories of all time. It's told from the perspective of a search and rescue officer who discovers these mysterious stairs out in the middle of the woods that just pop up for no reason, and he also tells different stories based on kids disappearing in the woods. It's pretty creepy stuff. So much like the first two seasons, Butcher's Block is taking the premise of the creepypasta, using it as the foundation, but building an entirely new structure on top of it. This has worked really well for the other two seasons, and that's not changing with this one. Honestly, this is the best premiere the show's had yet. The two main characters this season are sisters named Allie and Zoe. So Allie seems to have things figured out. They're both in their mid-20s, and Zoe is older, but Allie's the one who kind of has her life together. She's a social worker who deals with families, and she's bringing her sister Zoe with her to a new town called Butcher's Block because Zoe's a recovering addict and Allie needs to take care of her. Allie is played by Olivia Lucardi and Zoe is played by Helen Rodin. Now, they both do a great job acting, and they look so similar that I felt like they might have been fraternal twins, but it turns out they're not even related at all. Now, Olivia Lucardi needs a little bit of work. She doesn't do as great of a job as Helen Rodin. Her delivery is a little shaky, but it's nothing major, so I hope it improves as the season goes on. But overall, they both do a pretty good job. I really like the dynamic between the two of them in this episode because Allie has her shit together and Zoe doesn't, so it's kind of like this fire and ice dynamic. But the show is kind of hinting that whatever is causing Zoe to spiral might have a supernatural tinge to it, so I'm curious how that will play out as the season goes on in relation to Allie. Far and away, my favorite character in this episode is Krisha Fairchild's Louise. She's Zoe and Allie's landlady. And if you don't know who Krisha Fairchild is, she was in the movie Krisha. She played, I guess, herself. And that movie is directed by Trey Edward Schultz, who directed It Comes at Night. Besides being Zoe and Allie's landlady, Louise is also a journalist who's investigating the disappearances in Butcher's Block. And I really want to see where that plot thread goes, but it's mostly because Krisha's performance is flawless. I really like Rutger Hauer's character, Joseph. And if you haven't heard of him before, you've definitely seen him. He was in Blade Runner. I think that's his most notable role. But he plays this very sweet and kind old man in the first episode, but it's a little too sweet to not be menacing, and I feel like he's gonna play a really good villain this season, so I'm really curious to see where that character will go. The reason I like Channel Zero so much is because unlike American Horror Story, it's a limited series that's about 6 episodes, so it's all killer, no filler, and so far that's exactly what Butcher's Block is. The most annoying thing about the Search and Rescue Woods stories was that they mainly focused on the stairs themselves rather than what was on the top of the stairs or on the other side of the door at the top of the stairs, and that's exactly what it seems like this season is going to be all about. So if the story continues down that plot line of showing us what's on the other side of the door, which I'm pretty sure it will, this is going to be a really good season. I really like the town of Butcher's Block itself because it looks so cool. It's kind of like, it's basically my ideal setting for anything horror. It feels like Derry, Maine, but in the modern day, and there's definitely some call-outs to Stephen King's It, but it totally stands on its own, which is awesome. The meat factory called Peach's Meats that sits right in the middle of the town, I think a younger version of Joseph is painted on the side of the building, and again, just like the actual character, he looks just a little too sweet to not give you that menacing, kind of like dreadful feel, and I'm really excited to see where this show goes. So yeah, guys, that's what I thought of the first episode of Butcher's Block. I hope you're excited to check out the show tonight because I absolutely loved it, and what I really liked about it is that this first episode opened up a lot of questions, but it also gave us way more details about the characters than the first episode of No End House did, in my opinion. But yeah, if you want to catch the show tonight, it's on at 10 p.m. on Sci-Fi, and you should definitely check it out. And then after you watch it, come back to my channel because I'll be posting a recap that's full of spoilers and we'll be speculating on where the show is going. But yeah, guys, that's all the time I have for today. So as always, my name is Jimmy Champagne, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.